What are friends for? Hey everyone, Templar74 here with another Yu-Gi-Oh video, and today's Yu-Gi-Oh video is going to be my review of the latest episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's episode 24, Resolve. And I'll be honest with you guys, this episode may arguably be my favorite episode so far. And not because of plot backstory in it, but just the messaging in this episode, the subliminal messaging. And also, I'm going to throw this out there right now. I'm going to go down and say it. Right now, Otis is my favorite character in Yu-Gi-Oh! 7's. But we'll talk about all this soon enough. So, at risk of further rambling though, let's move on to the actual episode. So the episode begins with last week, the conclusion of that, where we learn that Neil has essentially hijacked Rush Dueling, or at least a part of Rush Dueling that was left blank by Yuga. Basically, he's hacked the data, he found this hole in the program that Yuga had left deliberately and on purpose, and Neil took full advantage of it, much to Yuga's chagrin. And yeah, Neil's basically like, I created my own road in your road, and it's my provenance. And that's how he created the maximum summon, which of course frustrates Yuga. I mean, it does, but it doesn't, if that makes any sense. But anyway, Neil kicks everybody out of his lair, his citadel, and basically tells him to go home. And this loss to Neil kind of has this weird effect on Yuga. He kind of goes MIA, he kind of goes into this funk for a while, and the gang is unable to find him, much to the chagrin of Roman, Rook, and Gakuto. And the three of them decide that they will figure out how to defeat the maximum summon on their own without Yuga. They're going to do this to help their friend. They need to do this to help their friend. And so, yeah, these three take off to try to figure out their own way to defeat the maximum summon, while Yuga goes to none other than Roa. And Roa is surprised to see him there, and these two have a discussion about, you know, the loss and how it's affecting Yuga. And it's very interesting here because we see Roman actually call Roa, and Yuga's like, no, don't talk to Roman. He doesn't want Roman to know that he's with Roa. And so Roa abides by this, and they're talking, and basically Roa is basically, I can't believe this guy had picked you, somebody that would get so depressed after one loss to become the king of duels. And it's about this time that the gang come up with an idea for how to defeat the maximum summon, or at least figure out find somebody that would know how to defeat the maximum summon. And it's funny because Roa, Roman, Gakuto, and Rook almost have this same idea right at the same moment of the one person that is in this show that could possibly help Yuga out defeat the maximum summon. And that, of course, is Otis. And so, yeah, now we have Roman, Rook, and Gakuto heading out to confront Otis and to find Otis. Gakuto gets there first to where they first encountered the shrine, and Gakuto basically makes this bold proclamation, basically saying, Otis, if you can hear me, come out now. And it's after Rook and Roman appear that Otis answers the call. And the relic appears and Otis appears, and Otis is like, you called? And they're sitting there, but before they can confront Otis, Otis tells them, I already know why you're here. You want to know how to defeat the maximum summon. And I shall give you a hint, is what Otis says. However, this duel with the devil has a catch. Basically, Otis says, fine, I will duel you for the secret on defeating the maximum summon. However, all three of you will take me on at once. And Otis splits into these three different Otises, a blue one, a yellow one, and a red one. See a similarity here? Kind of a pitch to Gen 1, because Otis uses legendary cards from the first generation, which is Duel Monsters here. So when we saw red, blue, and yellow, I'm like, oh my god, is Otis going to use what I think he's going to use? Unfortunately, that was my one heartbreak of the episode. But no, Otis basically says, I will duel you. We'll duel 3-on-3. However, before you accept this challenge, I must offer this warning. Goha Corporation now sees me as part of Oda Yuga's group. So regardless of who wins or who loses this duel, we will each receive 3 penalties, even Otis. So Otis will receive 3 penalties whether he wins or loses, and likewise Roman, Gakuto, everybody in Yuga's company will receive 3 penalties no matter what the outcome of this duel is, which I find interesting that Goha would lump Otis in with Yuga, even though Otis was one of their card designers, and basically he's now a rogue, so now they they put him in Yuga's group, and so I just find that interesting here, and it adds a little bit to Otis's character. Undeterred and wanting to help their friend, Roman, Gakuto, and Rook all have the resolve. They're all going to duel Otis regardless of the risk. And yeah, Gakuto takes the lead here in this duel, but before any move can be made, Otis takes the first move and brings out the legendary Red Eyes Black Dragon. So he used Blue Eyes the first time he appeared, now he's using Red Eyes, and of course the magic card Inferno Fire Blast, which allows him to attack his opponents directly, which of course is OP. He's able to deal 2,400 points of damage to everybody on one turn. And so, yeah, this knocks everybody down, and seeing this terrifying legendary dragon here, they're like, what did we get into? However, all three of them realize that they're going to get penalized either way. So if they're going to take the penalties, they may as well make it worth it. They got to figure out how to defeat the maximum summon, so they're going to go through with this duel on Otis. And they do ultimately defeat Otis and the Red Eyes Black Dragon by attacking him directly with their monsters and the good old block attack spell card. So, yeah. Otis is defeated and disappears, but he doesn't reveal what the hint of the maximum summon defeat is. And it's after Otis is gone, Roman, Gakuto, and Rook basically realize the trick to defeating maximum summon is resolve, our resolve to help Yuga. And that was the hint that Otis was trying to convey. And Otis was truly and deeply touched by their motivations and their resolve. And he even compliments us so when he takes this defeat here. So yeah, Otis was a grateful loser, and he ultimately bestowed knowledge onto these three on how to help Yuga, despite the 3 penalties that they've all gained here. When they ultimately meet up with Yuga, we learn what exactly had happened. And that's essentially the episode. Like I said, this episode was fantastic. I loved it because Roman, Gakuto, and Rook all stood up. They put their own desires and goals aside. They stepped up to duel a friend, to help a friend, and that's to defeat this new beast that was created by a pretender. And yeah, they go to none other than Otis, probably the most OP duelist in Sevens right now, to figure out how to do it, and they confront him regardless of the risk, and I loved that. And I love how Yuga also was not taking this loss really terrible, because I know in Yu-Gi-Oh! You get either the funk of, I don't want to duel anymore, or basically anger. Yuga didn't show either of that. He's basically the it is what it is kind of attitude here, which is interesting. And the other thing I want to point out here, and I emphasized this a little bit earlier on in the video, when Otis split and it became red, blue, and yellow, I thought for sure we were going to see Egyptian gods here because Otis uses cards from the first generation, legendary cards from the first generation. I think these 3 would definitely qualify here. However, since we've just seen Blue Eyes the first time Otis dueled, now we saw Red Eyes this time, I think it's safe to say that the next time we see Otis duel, he's going to use the Dark Magician. Whatever he uses after that, though, is anybody's guess. I'm still hoping we see an Obelisk or a Slifer or a Ra show up in this. I would just think that is awesome, and I think it really would prove Otis to be an OP Gen 1 duelist in Sevens. But again, that's a discussion for another day and my own thought on that. But anyway, that said, everybody, that was the episode. Like I said, I loved this episode, and I love Otis's character here in this episode. Just cemented that. This episode was strong, and this may arguably be my favorite episode of Sevens thus far. I know that's a stretch for some people, but for me, it truly could be my favorite episode so far. Overall, I give this episode a 9.5 out of 10. This episode was almost perfect, except for the little bit of tease we got there with Otis, with the red, blue, and yellow. I was really hoping we'd see something else here, but, you know, I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that actually does happen. I would probably fangirl if it did happen. But anyway, in the comments section down below, let me know what your guys' thoughts were about this week's episode. Did you love it? Did you hate it? Did you think it was just there? What are your thoughts? Just let me know in the comments section down below, because as always, I enjoy hearing from you. Alright everyone, as always, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day, everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye, everybody. Hey everyone, Templar74 here. Did you enjoy the video? Do you want to help support me in making more content like this and see your name here at the end of every video? Then consider supporting me on Patreon. Any help is greatly appreciated and will help ensure continuation and increase the quality of production of the videos that I'm able to make for all of you. Link down below. Again, thank you so much for your support and for liking and subscribing. You all are amazing. And as always everyone, Templar74 signing off. Have a great day everybody, and I'll talk to you all next time. Goodbye everybody.